You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It's your guy, Studio McGyver, and you are listening to Studio McGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. We have a robust episode today. There's a lot of shit that went down, guys, this past week. We're going to be talking about PlayStation 5, their fucking tech demo. Yes, that's a real thing. We're also going to talk a little bit about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That is back. There's some news on that I definitely can't wait to talk about. We also have some Tony Hawk shit. We have some Mafia news from the Mafia 1 and Mafia 2. If you guys were into those games, I remember playing those back on the PlayStation 2 back in those days. So great things coming with that. Also, man, Nintendo, they got a new game. They just threw it up in our faces out of nowhere. What is it? How good is it going to be? Is the hype real? I think it is. And anime watch, like what have I been watching this last month or so, guys? I've been watching a shit ton of anime. I just been doing a straight crash course on anime, man. And I got another one done. I finished another one, and I'm going to talk about that one as well. So it's just a lot of dope shit happening right now, guys. And I haven't even begun to tell you about the elephant in the room. And that game is going to be Ghost of Tsushima. No, wait. How do you pronounce that shit? My bad. Ghost of Tsushima. God damn it, guys. I'm bad with these fucking names. But we're talking about that. There was a fucking demo. We got a demo of the game, guys. It's probably my most anticipated game of 2020 now. And that's over The Last of Us. I'm sure you probably know why that is, but you know, spoilers and all that other shit. But let's get on with the fucking show. Okay. I want to talk about, where should I start? I don't even know where to fucking begin. There's so many things on this plate right now of mine. I don't even know where to begin, man. I got my fork. I got my fucking knife. I want to, first of all, welcome all of the listeners to the podcast. If you're new to the podcast, I want to welcome you to the show. If you're into anime, if you're into gaming, if you're into nerd culture, man, you've come to the right place. We talk about all of those things here. And I'm just going to dive right in, guys. I'm going to go in with the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order news, guys. If you listen to me for an extended period of time, you know I played this game. You know I loved this game. And this is one of the only games from EA as a publisher that put something out that wasn't glazed in fucking warm butter. And, you know, because it was a single player game, it was not monetized. They couldn't monetize it. I believe if there was a way that they could do that, they probably would. But this is a great game. I cannot deny it. And they have some DLC coming. Well, a patch, if you will. The patch is 1.09. And this is including a lot of shit, man. You're going to get New Game Plus. You're also going to get some new outfit. Well, you get one dope new outfit. You also, basically you get the Inquisitor outfit, the outfit you wear. If you play through the story mode, you know what I'm talking about. It's an awesome dark side, type of outfit that you can, you know, wear, and you can basically wear it through your New Game Plus playthrough. You know what I mean? So, it doesn't stop there though. This is where the shit really gets dope for me. Battle arena mode, man. And I remember people talking about this. I remember people hinting about this, or, you know, I think it was just a lot of people just speculating at the time. But yo, they made it happen, guys. There's actually a battle arena mode in here that you can play and enjoy. Also, there's also a combat grid. I don't know what the fuck that really entails. Basically, the only thing I drew from it, from watching a video and doing a little bit of reading on it, it's basically like you can pretty much custom make your own battle. You can pick who you want, you know, on that on that map in that area. You can place them in different spots. You can give them different abilities, whatnot, or have them do different things. It's crazy. You can fight yourself if you want to. And it's a lot deeper than that, but that's like the basic premise of what this mode entails, man. And you can even fight your master. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be dope. That'll just be cool for some dope content, or just if you want to fuck around and just test your skills and really, really get good at that lightsaber, you know what I mean? And put in work out here in these Star Wars streets. So I just really think that's really cool. And they finally did that. Maybe they were planning this all along and they just, got around to it. I mean, these things take time. Maybe they, how games companies work. They're in crunch mode. They're trying to get the basic game done, released, and all of that, and get all those kinks worked out first. And then they probably had some of this stuff in the works as the game released. And then they said, okay, well, we can finish and focus on this now. And then when it's finally ready, we can kick this out to the fans. There's pluses and minuses to this. If you're a huge fan of a certain game or whatever, I mean, you're going to welcome anything that comes your way, whether it be a patch, whether it be DLC or whatever, but, also in the day and age we're living in now, when we're talking about, how quickly, we, dust off a game and move on to the next one. If you wait too long, a lot of people will basically forget, or, it won't be relevant to them anymore. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Neo 2. Neo 2 was an excellent game, guys. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I got all the way to New Game Plus, and before it fizzled out for me, I got about halfway through New Game Plus, and then all my friends and stuff started to kind of fade away from it. And what I was hoping for were, another DLC I was curious about maybe new weapons, maybe new bosses, things of that nature. And there is a DLC coming with that on that game, but it's going to be like, I think July. I want to say, and it's the last day of July, I think July 30th or some shit like that. So basically, man, like 6 months after the game's initial release is when they're getting their first DLC. So that's kind of crazy. Now they do have some sort of patch, kind of like what the Star Wars kind of thing is, like a 1 point whatever patch. And it does give you a few extra, things to do to keep you busy. But you can't wait. If you got DLC planned for a game, man, you just can't wait a whole 6 months after the game's released. You at least, 90 days, cool, but 6 fucking months, yo, that's crazy. And a lot of companies do that, and that's just not how I personally would handle it. And, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of Neo players out there, though, who are thirsty for new content. So we'll see when it gets here what happens, because by then, you're talking about July, man. There's a lot of shit that is just going to be popping off in July and in June. So late June and July, we got a lot of shit hitting, man. So be wary. Ghost of Tsushima. Setsuna. Why can't I pronounce that fucking name? What the fuck is going on? Ghost of Tsushima. Okay. I don't know any other way. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, that's that news for the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I hope you guys, appreciate that news. If you have played the game, which a lot of us have, it was a dope game. So I think we all would enjoy this. So I have to re-download it though, because like I said, when I play a game, I run through it and I do what I need to do. These games are so fucking heavy. They're so big and so huge, man. Depending on what you're playing after that, you got to kind of watch your space, because you don't want to fucking, be over flooded with all these games. And, if you're not playing it at the time, why just keep it on your hard drive? You know what I mean? So that's what that is. Now let's move on down and let's talk a little bit about some fucking remakes. Okay. This shit, it's, I don't know what's in the water, but it's a lot of fucking remakes, man, in the works, guys. And one of those remakes is Tony Hawk and Pro Skater 1 and 2. All right. I remember Tony Hawk back in the day playing that shit. And I had a fucking blast, man, on those weekends, playing with friends or whatever, man. It was a dope game. And a lot of people want to see this game back. There were a lot of other games after that. And actually Tony Hawk games, man, that actually were straight trash. To be honest with you, after the first couple of Tony Hawk games, I want to say after the third one, man, I didn't play anymore. And, they just got kind of shitty, man. And now we're at a point where people want the original shit back. And what's happening now is they're going to be bringing it back. It's going to be 1 and 2. You're going to get 1 and 2 together combined. It's going to be coming out September 4th. It's going to be available on all platforms, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So get ready for that, guys. The remaster. I wonder what's going to be coming with that game. Now they claim that it's pretty much you're going to get everything that initially came with it before. A lot of people are worried about the soundtracks, man, because that's a tricky thing in the video game industry, especially when people are doing remasters and remakes and shit, because depending on who, it is, it's really tricky to get those, cleared because, publishing and you have middlemen and all that bullshit. That's the one thing I fucking can't stand about the music, when in video games, man, especially, just games like back in the day, like even the wrestling games, the 2K games, where you used to be able to, you have your own custom music, or you could come out to wherever the fuck you wanted to. But now with YouTube and all of that, you can't do that shit because, it's copyright. Your shit get copyrighted, or you'll get struck down or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So I feel some type of way about that, but they claim that most of the songs, most of the artists are going to be back, like Goldfinger and everybody else. So be looking out for that, man. I think it's going to be a dope remaster. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what it's all about. I might have to jump back in there. It's going to have online mode as well. So I think we're cooking with Crisco right now, man, with this game. Now, another fucking remake that I want to talk about is the fucking Mafia series. All right. If you ask me, man, there's nothing like the older Mafia games. Mafia 3 was cool. Please don't get it twisted, but it was really repetitive, man. And it was just really repetitive. A lot of the stages were just like the same, it was just wash, rinse, repeat. Graphically it was great and all of that. It had a dope little premise to it and all of that. But, the original ones, the first and the second one, man, crazy. Now, apparently we're getting Mafia 2 like any day now. Okay. Tuesday to be exact. We're getting basically a remaster of that game, and it's going to be available, I think, everywhere. I'm definitely going to be looking for that one, checking for that. But man, they're doing something very, very awesome with the first Mafia game. And I'm wondering why they chose Mafia 1, for this, but Mafia 2 is getting a remaster. Okay. Now, the original Mafia game is getting a fucking remake. So basically, they're kind of doing what they did for, if you guys don't recall, what they did for Resident Evil, the first Resident Evil game, when it came out for $20 and they redid it for the PlayStation 4 and all that. It looked fucking beautiful. It was just, a facelift. They built everything else from the ground up, same mechanics and all that. They might tweak and twerk a couple of different things here, and I think that's what's going to happen with this. But for the most part, man, I mean, there's screenshots that I've seen. If you don't fucking believe me, please go check it out for yourself, of the first Mafia game, and it looks fucking breathtaking. Graphics, it looks crazy. I really want to play this one now. And that one is slated for, I think, late August. I want to say August 27th, if I'm remembering correctly, man. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I think they're going to be revealing more information on this in the next week or two to come. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted on those games. But yeah, you got remakes like that, and remasters. Sky's the fucking limit, and I would love to know how much this game is going to cost. That's something I don't know. Is it going to be $20? Is it going to be $30? I'm guessing somewhere between that $20 and $30 range. I'm going to assume that's what it is, because that's usually what these remakes usually cost about. So I don't think we're going to get a full price. We better not. You know what I mean? Even though the game looks awesome, breathtaking, all of that shit, but we should not have to pay full price for this. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as well. Anyway, moving on to the next lecture at hand, let's talk a little bit about what Nintendo's doing. Nintendo has a little something up their sleeve too. They said, you know what, fuck it. We're not going to be sitting down in these video game streets and let everybody else have all the fun. We want to bring something to the table too. So what do these motherfuckers do? They come out with Paper Mario, the announcement. Yes, Paper Mario, the Origami King. All right. It's slated for July. Man, July is going to be crazy. But basically, the premise of the story is Mario teams up with a new partner named Olivia. to free Princess Peach's castle from King Ollie. That's the basic premise of the story. I'm sure it's going to get a little deeper, but that's what I gathered from it. And that's what, I read. Man, July 17th is the release date on this. So this is right around the corner as well. It's not that far away. But Nintendo, with a game like this, Paper Mario, you would think that they would give more press, more of this, more of that, beforehand. But, I kind of like what Nintendo did. I kind of like how they kind of just threw this shit out there with a couple of months left, you know what I mean, for it to come out. Now, I'm sure we're going to get more information. I'm sure we're going to get some gameplay footage and a little bit more in depth of a breakdown of this game as we get closer to the release date. And I will definitely keep you guys posted on that as well. And yeah, man, if you're a Nintendo Switch owner like me, then you definitely probably are looking forward to a game like this. Nintendo has so many things, man, so many games. I still haven't got a chance to enjoy everything, but I have been playing it, and there's something out there for everybody, man. Like I said, for the Nintendo Switch, and they're always doing dope shit. We get a lot of remakes, we get a lot of remasters, we get a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't get. So I'm happy about this announcement, guys, and we'll keep you posted as more news comes to the light. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about where should I go next? Where should I fucking go next? There's really two juicy pieces of conversation in this podcast that I kind of want to dive into, but I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to do first, man. You know what? Why I'm deciding that? Let me go ahead and talk about this Anime Watch. Anime Watch is just a little segment that I just, talk about. And it has to do with what I've been watching anime wise, from a week to week type of thing. As you guys know, especially the guys who's been listening for the last month or so, I have been consuming a shit load of anime. There's even 3 or 4 different anime that I've started, but I never got past, episode 5 or 6 because, for whatever reason, it just didn't grab me. Now, who's to say I won't go back? I'll probably go back to a couple of these and maybe finish them out. But, this last week, I actually ran through a couple different anime and never finished them. And I don't know why they just didn't grab me. So I was looking for that one to kind of just, keep me wanting to finish it, like all of it. And I have to also keep in mind, and you guys probably know this too, especially people who watch as much anime as me. You're not going to, every anime you choose, like every anime that you pick to put on your list, your to watch list or whatever, your backlog, you're not going to fucking, you're not going to like them all. You know what I mean? I used to have some kind of, hang up on the anime that I had, like I was supposed to like everything, and that's just not the case. I mean, just because it has a pretty, a pretty cover or artwork to it doesn't mean that, it's going to be for you or it's going to be right. You know what I mean? That may be part of the intrigue, but that's not how it fucking works. So I guess I had, my journey, if you will, this past week on that. I had a lot of anime picked out that I was going to watch, and I went down the line. I got to 3, 4, 5 episodes. And I was like, you know what? It's not really doing it for me. So I moved on to the next one, and I did that. And for a minute, I thought I wasn't going to find one. In a minute, I was going to be able to finish this week. You know what I mean? And talk about it a little bit. But I eventually did. And what's so crazy is I started this one. Was it Friday? I want to say it was fucking Friday. Yeah, it was late Friday night, man. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Am I going to find something here? And I didn't know. It didn't seem like it. And then all of a sudden I stumbled upon Parasite. It was another one on my list. Guys, I literally have dozens of anime on my backlog, Hulu and Netflix, like just stacked to the ceiling. All right. So I'm just going down, picking. And I finally got to Parasite, and Parasite is, it's spelled Parasyte. Came out in 2014. There's also some kind of movie out about it. I have not seen that. I'm not into movies based on anime. It's just not my thing, man. I'd rather it just be anime. That's just, there are exceptions, there are some exceptions. Ghost in the Shell for me. A lot of people didn't like Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson. And, but, for the most part, if I had to choose, I just wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Alita Battle Angel is another one. That's dope. Awesome. But anyway, this one came out in 2014. There's also a movie out there somewhere. You can watch it. I'm sure you can find it. But it's called Parasite the Maxim. Maxim. And it's about the 70-year-old kid, man, named Shinichi. And he basically gets attacked, if you will, by a parasite and tries to take over his body. But he doesn't really succeed in taking over his whole body. Most of these parasites tend to go for your brain. But this parasite, for whatever reason, didn't get a chance to make it all the way to the brain. So it basically it made it to his hand, his arm, if you will. And there it was. And they bonded some sort of strange relationship. You know what I mean? Because the parasite's job basically is just not to die, to try to fend for his life. And it'll do anything and everything it can to fucking survive. So there's these other parasites in this universe that are, basically taking over humans, and the humans are feeding off of other humans that these parasites are making them do. And just, it's just a lot of shit going on out there. So he has to learn how to coexist with this parasite within him. And they learn a lot about each other through the journey. And they actually become really, really close. They talk to each other. It's crazy. It is really crazy. And the whole time, the main character of the show, he's trying to, hide it, because sometimes the parasite can come out, whenever it wants to, has eyes, the eye just comes out of his hand, and it's just crazy shit, man. There's also a love interest in here. I think her name is Satome, however you pronounce that. But anyway, it's the girlfriend of Shinichi, and he's trying to hide it from her. She knows something's wrong. It's a really dope show, man. I don't want to talk about everything that happened, because there's a lot of shit that happened in this anime, and that I don't want to spoil. It's awesome though. It's definitely one. It's 24 episodes long, and I mopped it up. I got it done early Sunday morning. I watched it. And I had to watch some shit with the girlfriend. Of course, we watched some shit on TV or whatever. And then after that, I finished the rest of it up, this Sunday morning, man. But yeah, 24 episodes. It was great. I definitely put it on my collection of anime to, I gave this one a 5-star, man. 4.5 on the scale. And that's pretty fucking good. All right. It's definitely worthy of, any anime collector's collection. Definitely, in my opinion. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you guys watch this one. I saw it on Hulu. It's dubbed completely, so you can enjoy it dubbed if you like. A lot of people like their anime, subbed, and that's cool too. Right now I'm on the dub train, because everything that I've been watching has been dubbed, and I've made it purposely that way because I don't like going back and forth, and I fall into a zone when I watch my anime, and I don't like getting into an anime with all subs and then going back to dub. You know what I mean? I like to stay in one zone. So I'm mopping up all the dubs that I can, watch. And then when I get low on those, I'll swap over to the subs, and I'll watch a shitload of subs. And that's how I'll do it. I have to watch them a little differently. I can do a little bit more multitasking, watching the dub, of course. But when I watch subs, man, I have to zoom in. I have to, put the headphones on, and I cannot be disturbed, because you miss, a minute and a half of a fucking sub. You could be really hurting yourself, man, story wise. So you got to kind of just focus in on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Parasite has been my anime. I'm very excited to go and find the next, one, because I haven't watched. I started one. No, let me stop. I started one. I haven't watched enough of it to mention it yet. I don't know if it's going to warrant me mentioning it, so I'm not going to mention it right now, because I might not even finish it. But I did start another one. I've watched maybe 2 episodes of it so far. So far, it's good. It's a vampire flick. It's a vampire anime. So I'll definitely let you guys know next podcast if it was worthy or not, if I recommend it or not. And I'm going to start doing a lot of these videos too on my YouTube channel. All these anime, I've made a list and I write all the anime down that I've watched all the way through and that I really enjoy. And just to make a list for future collection, my future collection. I only have a few, DVD/Blu-ray anime right now in my library because I'm freshly starting it. You guys who've been listening, this. So I think what do I have right now? Damn, I forgot already. Shit. Oh, Shiv River Fell Night and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Those are my first two. Got them some dope prices, online or whatever. eBay is your friend, guys. If you're into anime and you're looking to buy anime, eBay is your friend. All right, that's all I'm going to say. I'll put my money on the table and walk away. Now, with anime out of the way, let's get back to some gaming shit, okay? Because these last two things are going to be based on that. And I think I've decided to talk about PlayStation 5 and their gameplay tech demo. Now, they had a gameplay tech demo. If you guys don't know what that is, which most of us should know what it is, but if you don't, I'll let you know. It's basically Sony demonstrating the power of the PlayStation 5. And they did this by, giving us a video of just a random character, created by Sony, just to show us what the PlayStation 5 is capable of. And they're showing us what it's capable of. The graphics look amazing. The graphics look outstanding. A lot of the lighting is what they've basically been stressing. That's the main thing they've been talking about is the lighting and how good it looks. And it does look magnificent, man. It does really look good. Even the character is a female character just running around. The graphics look amazing. The physics of this shit look crazy. Also, she was wearing a scarf, and that's what I was interested in too. Like, how are they gonna, how does that work? And I'll get on more of that later. But it looked good. I mean, but one thing I do know about tech demos, and a lot of people, especially press, realize about these tech demos is they'll show us something. They've done this lots of times, man. Like for the PlayStation 4 and all of that, and other systems. But then when you get the game in hand, you're thinking that, it's going to be what the tech demo showed us. And it wasn't, because they had limitations. You know what I mean? There were limitations. But what's so crazy and what gets me excited about the PlayStation 5 is the fact that everything that they explained, they were trying to convey the fact that these next gen consoles are going to be they're even better than PCs out here right now. Okay. So they're not going to have to worry about a lot of these limitations when they're putting together games, which will make game development faster, which will make it a whole lot easier, and will make it better for the consumer. You know what I mean? No loading screens, or if it is, it'll be very, very light, and it'll just be put together just excellently. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that I'm most excited about. Tech demos, they've been around. They've always been around for years. And the closer and closer we get to that next gen console, it's starting to really show us that, what you see now on these tech demos is actually what you're going to get. And that's the thing that I'm excited about, because this is the first console, or this will be the first consoles. These next gen consoles will be the ones that actually are on par with PCs. So you get that 60 frame, it's possible to get all that 60 frame, that 4K and all of that. Now, even granted, there's going to be some games that aren't going to do that, starting out, but like any other system, it takes time. And as the time goes by and as developers get these kits and they begin to work more and more and get familiar with it, it'll be way easier for them to start putting together pieces like this. And everything we touch, for the most part, will look like these tech demos. And this is also the Unreal Engine 5. So basically, it's a new engine. It's basically just an upgrade of the Unreal Engine 4. And that's what, I want to say 85 to 90% of what video games on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and all that are based off of, the Unreal Engine. So I'm interested to see what this new engine brings, what things they add. Like, from just looking at the tech demo, shit looked beautiful all of that. I'm really wanting to know about the load times though. That's really what I want to know, because some of these games, man, right now is fucking ridiculous. The load times, even like I'm playing Control right now. I'm still playing that game, and just that game, you can tell when they made it, they had to cut a lot of fucking corners, man. For the fucking hardware, you can just feel it. I mean, every time you pause the game, every time I pause the game and leave it paused for like, longer than 30 seconds to a minute, and I come back and I jump back in the game, it glitches slightly. Like this is one of the first games that I've seen this, that I've done this. And it also exposes, in my opinion, some of the devs in a sense, because if you take God of War, and I have a base PlayStation 4, I don't have the PS4 Pro either. Okay. So also keep that in mind. God of War was just the reason why that shit was a perfect 10 was because, I mean, everything from not just the game standpoint, like the writing was excellent. The lore, everything about that game was excellent. The design, all of that. But what also put it at number, gave it a 10 out of 10 for me was the fact that it was done so fucking right as far as on the technical aspect, on a technical scale, the way that they did everything, to put everything together, man. I mean, you couldn't get any better than that. You know what I mean? I mean, there were no glitches. I mean, it was a fucking masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. And I'm anxious to play some of these games. Like Control was one I really want to play on the PlayStation 5 and see what, if any, changes are made, or does it have anything else to do with how the game operates or plays or whatever. I'm anxious for that, those type of games. And that's where, the limitations start to dissipate. They start to fade away when you start talking about this next gen shit. So that's one of the things I'm most excited for. And this tech demo, it's everywhere. You guys can check it out on YouTube. It's beautiful. They did their thing. And it was nice. So it's just good to know that we're in good hands on the next gen consoles, man. So with that being said, I'll leave that alone and get to the last piece of this podcast. And that, guys, is going to be the gameplay demo of Ghost of Tsushima. It was awesome. I know, to all my listeners, with the pronunciation of this, I don't know why I'm fucking slaughtering the pronunciation of this fucking game right now, but I'm apologizing in advance. I've done it probably a half dozen times already on this podcast, and I apologize, man. But the game is awesome. It's going to be my most anticipated game of 2020. It's looking like it was going to be between that and The Last of Us 2, but now that has been busted wide open, spoilers and all of that, it'll probably be this one. Now, we got an extensive gameplay video on this title, man, and let me just first off say, the physics look excellent. The physics look breathtaking. The cape that he's wearing, the fabric that he's wearing, I mean, flowing in the wind. This is a beautiful fucking game, guys. This game is fucking beautiful, man. And I, for one, cannot wait to dive into this game. You have the samurai play style, which is, more in your face, attack from the front type of play style. And then you also have the Ghost, which is basically ninja, in the dark, dirty, gritty, you know what I mean? By any means necessary type of play style. And that is definitely going to be my play style. I mean, the game is called Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Stop it. Just stop. Just shut up. The game starts with Ghost. Okay. So, that's what I'm gonna go with, man. I mean, and I also think that the Ghost can do everything. The Ghost can do everything the samurai can do and more. And basically, I found out through watching the demo that to get to that mode, to get to Ghost, you have to, of course, work your way up through the legend. The more things you do, the more clout you get. The more clout you get, the more people talk, the legend grows. And when it grows to a certain extent, then you're able to, do a lot of other things, do things that the ghost would actually do. That's what I've gathered from this video so far. They've also said that there's going to be a lot more to come. We'll have more videos. We'll have more extensive explanations on, some of the play mechanics of the game as we progress, which is cool. I was very pleased with this demo. I found myself I've watched it 3 times already. I've watched other people watch it just to get their reactions and see what they think about the game. But I knew that this is going to be one of my main purchases for 2020. This one, The Last of Us 2, was definitely one. Star Wars was another one. Those were the 3 major ones I think that I wanted to grab hold of 2020 for sure. And yeah, man, I think that's going to set it off. That's going to be probably, the last big title that I can think of, that I'm going to be buying in 2020, unless they hit us with some other games. I mean, there are a couple other games, guys, that I do want to play. Grand Blue Fantasy, that's the RPG that's coming that I definitely want to, play. And there are a couple other ones, man, that I'm hoping will come out. May or may not come out. You know what I mean? Biomutant is another one, but who knows? But the main meat and potatoes, though, the main ones like the AAA, just you gotta have these. These are the ones. So if you have not seen that fucking gameplay demo, you need to fucking watch that shit. And also release date on that, July 17th, the same day Paper Mario comes out. Okay. So that's crazy. July is going to be a crazy month. It really is. And what's so fucking crazy is the fact that this game was supposed to release in June. All right. Ahead of The Last of Us. We didn't even know when The Last of Us 2 was going to come out. But since all this bullshit happened, they swapped places. I'm assuming that The Last of Us is going to be July and they just swapped places with it. I'm assuming that's what it is. I've already pre-ordered The Last of Us 2. I'm wondering when I should go pre-order Ghost. I can wait a little bit longer. I can wait till July to go pre-order that. I'm sure I can. If there is a midnight release, I guess there will be one. GameStop actually told me that some of these games now, man, the companies are letting them release them a day and sometimes 2 days early if they get them. So in other words, if UPS or FedEx delivers the packages, the games, once they get them in, they call the companies, they call the higher ups and they say, hey, can we sell these? And they've done that. They said, yeah, here's a green light. You can keep the cluster down because there won't be any midnight releases. And then people can just come get them. Hey, it's available. You can come pick it up now and that type of thing. So I'm definitely going to be checking a few days early. You know what I mean? And every day after that until these games come out, because I could get lucky. I may be able to get it early, man. I'm really contemplating the fucking Game of the Year edition, not Game of the Year, the collector's edition, man. But man, it's 170. It is awesome though. The mask is fucking awesome with the stand on it. It's fucking sick. The ghost mask. I'll keep it low because, like I said, I still got to save it for this PlayStation 5. Okay, I think we all know. Got to save it for the PlayStation 5, man. So I'll probably get the standard edition and I'll be happy with that. I don't even have room in my fucking man cave for anything, collector's edition based. Anyway, I'm trying to find a fucking another shelf for these DVDs, these Blu-rays and these, the rest of these collectibles, man, because I'm completely out of room. I don't have anywhere to put anybody else really, honestly. So that's where I'm at, guys. I hope you enjoyed the fucking show. A lot of shit happened last week, like I said, in gaming and all of that. There's been some other news out here, and I'll probably brush up on that next week in the anime world. There's been some things that happened, and I have to, get a little bit more information before I start, spilling my guts on that type of shit, because I need to make sure I understand the full Monty of all of those things. But yeah, there's some things happening behind the scenes, man. There's some things happening, that I want to kind of dive into a little bit deeper. And whatever transpires between now and the next week's podcast, you will definitely hear from it, especially if it's big news. Big news, you'll hear from it. You'll hear from me. personally. So anybody who has just started listening to this podcast, I want to thank you for lending me your time, your ear, and I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope to see you back. Again, we do this every Monday, so whenever you guys check it out, whether you're sleeping, whether you're driving to work or jogging, or whatever the fuck you do, man, hey, I appreciate it, and I love you guys, man. Everybody who's been down with me from day one, and everybody who just joined me from whenever, you know what I mean? I want to say thank you all for listening. The comments, the conversations that I've had with a lot of you guys have been amazing. And it's because of you why I keep doing what I'm doing, man, and why I'm trying to, expand this culture, if you will, and into the YouTube thing and try to get better on that. I'm about to buy a new editing program for these YouTube videos so I can, come out with better content for you guys and all of that type of shit. So just be looking out for all of these things, man. Okay. Be looking out. And I'm really contemplating doing a live podcast. Well, not live, but doing a recording of the podcast for YouTube. Put it like that. So I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of things, on my mind, and, which with each month and each year that passes, I'm always trying to get better. Always trying to do those type of things. If you want to talk to me, if you have any subjects you might want to talk about or you want me to discuss on the podcast, man, you can definitely hit me on social media, on Twitter at StudioMguyvR, on Instagram at StudioMguyvR79. There's also a Facebook page at StudioMguyvR as well. You can also check out the YouTube channel, Studio McGyver TV, man. Support me. Just subscribe, man. You know what I mean? You'll be helping me out. All of that. And also, last but not least, if you're into merch, nerd culture, anime shit, video game shit, check out Beautiful Nerds, man. That's www.beautifulnerds.com. Nerds is spelled Nurdz. Check those guys out. They update new shit every month. Hoodies, hats, and shirts are their main thing, but they also have a lot of other things, so just give them a shout, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys want to be a guest on the show, I said that, man, I haven't had a guest on the show in a while. A lot of people have been busy. This virus thing, it's a perfect time right now where everybody's kind of still hanging around the house, man. It'd be cool to chop it up with some of you guys about your favorite anime, about your favorite video games, movies, stuff like that. So yeah, hit me up on those outlets and we might be able to get into some gangster shit. With that being said, this is Studio McGyver, and you have been listening to Studio McGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.